The 5 best ranked players alive decided to team up, compete in professional Valorant. They made it to tier 2, and since then have been smurfing so hard that they've decided to nerf themselves. Before, we saw them playing comfort picks like Reyna, Clove, or ISO, but now, Brimstone? Phoenix? On a brand new map? It's like watching lions toy with their prey! Envy are the future of NA Valorant, and if you haven't watched them before, then brace yourselves, because these ranked monkeys will make you go bananas! Have you ever wondered why your ranked teammates straight up ignore whatever you say? Well, I figured it out. They must be wearing Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic, now with active noise cancellation. With 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life, these have changed my life. Recently, our cat Gizmo just got his balls chopped off and won't stop complaining. So with these earbuds that have optimized gel tips for a custom comfortable fit, I can just write my scripts in peace. The Everyday Earbuds Classic are the most comfortable earbuds I've tried on, and when I'm touching grass, they never fall out. But if you are worried about what's going on around you, they also have an awareness mode so you can listen to your music or podcasts, but still be aware of your surroundings. These earbuds are super easy to pair, are extremely durable, being sweat and water resistant, come in a bunch of fun colors, and are extremely affordable. Plus, I can help you get them for cheaper. Just go to buyraycon.com/teets to get 20% off the fan favorite Everyday Earbuds Classic. And lastly, thank you Raycon for sponsoring this video. And here we have the Envy exhibit. They are primal beasts that fuel their energy from playing endless amounts of comp and feed off of a lot of DoorDash. They are the strongest tier 2 team, and despite their goofy comps,
you say I'm arrogant? I say damn right!
Are not to be taken as a joke. Now, if you haven't watched my past breakdowns on these guys, I'll try and keep this introduction quick. Exter and Inspire are Yoru and Cypher 1 tricks that have perfected their respective agents through countless upon countless hours of grinding ranked. Their obsessions have led to them discovering and abusing tech that is exclusive to them. Then you got Canezilla and Ion, who are cracked 16-year-olds that lock Reyna, run it down, you think they're smurfing and start spam reporting them, when in reality, they're just on a whole different level. And lastly, you have Poppin, who's basically one of those teenagers but is smart and IGLs. Just keep in mind that they've all hit #1 Radiant more times than some of you shitters have even sniffed Plat. Get it in your head. Envy are the best of the best ranked players and are about to make franchising. But that's the part that doesn't make sense. In my past breakdowns, we saw this team run Reyna, ISO, Clove, your typical ranked specialists. What makes these agents so good is that they are amazing at punishing poor spacing and teamwork, which runs rampant in ranked.
Y'all suck some major ass.
So since Canezilla and Ion play comp so much, they have 1 billion hours played on those agents, similar to Exer on Yoru and Inspire on Cypher. Why not let these kids, best ranked players in the world, play their comfort picks? These agents are what Envy are good at, and they have the stats to prove that it works. Like really, really well. But if that's the case, why here are they playing Phoenix and Brimstone? Well, I asked Poppin and he told me real, not cake, whatever that means, followed up by comfortability and viability. Exter told me, I honestly don't know. It's a balancing act of comfort and functionality. From our game so far, comp feels pretty solid. And I asked Inspire on his stream and he told me that,
what am I reading?
So I spent about a day dissecting this comp, doing research, and it actually does make sense. Well, I'll explain that later. For now, just know that Brimstone is very stimulating. It's pistol round and the score is tied 6-6. Envy's plan is to default across the map, but have put a lot of thought behind their 2-2-1 spread. On B, Fade's Prowler has the perfect amount of duration to clear the area, peek into sight, and provide enough info for Exter to safely grab the orb. On A, Inspire Spycam is staring right down the barrel of main and will spot defenders who want to fight the area. Combined with the cage, and this area belongs to Cypher. And now mid? This is Brimstone's and Phoenix paradise. But can they fight back 3 defenders? The barriers fall, both teams trade smokes for mid, while Pop and Inspire send out a Prowler and their cage. Envy have secured control of the wings, but what about mid?
He's like one of the few that are able to shoot back against Envy. Won't discount the chaotic openers, although he gets bested by Kane. Now it's Envy just trying to even stay in their own spot. spawn.
Lander lost control of the extremities, so they had to make up for it by peeking into mid. But because of this Brim smoke, Canezilla was able to confidently swing out from bot mid and pre-fire A short. That swing forced out Sacred's paranoia, which pushed Ion back into the dark cover. T-Dog planted him in there with a grav net, but because Eggster was done with B main, he took his gate crash back, giving him enough time to help Ion get out by spamming through the smoke and finding another. Once the dust settles, Envy are up 1. And in ranked, you will never see a default like this. When someone does suggest, hey, I think we should default, what they're actually saying is, let's walk around and hope something happens. But Envy aren't your typical ranked players. Now down a member and a third of the map, Lander need to make a play. So since most of Envy are probably still here, Bones and Sacred group to one side and tell Moose to drop his wall.
And it's a red carpet of lane, or of land or blood, but Bones kind of shows up when the team needs it. Double swing. Eggster is still gonna challenge it.
Because Envy had to get back to Inspire, who has an open sight, they had to cross mid, and Landor won their fight. Now Poppin's on his own and can't risk losing the spike. He takes a few pot shots into Lander's new dark cover, but backs down into spawn to rotate the long way. With Inspire's can here, he should be able to clear the area for his IGL. But as he's rotating, Lander starts getting suspicious. Where the hell is Envy? Bones lobs a haunt into bot mid, and it spots nothing. Are Envy A? B? No one's seen Inspire all round. He could be anywhere. So they decide to stay grouped as 3 and hunt down the remaining attackers. In the meantime, Poppin's made his way onto A and starts planting as Inspire heads into mid to try and backstab the defenders. But no one knows where anyone is, just like how I can't find my cat sometimes. But just like Gizmo's food bowl, Poppin knows that if he waits long enough by the spike, Landor have to come back to him.
Haunt first, Landor showed their hand. Poppin ready to respond. Great headshot into Bones. He was low, but Moose and Sacred, how do they do it, Envy?
What the hell was that retake? Yeah, it was smart to stay grouped and just be ready to trade out your teammates. But what was this spacing? It was like Sight got turned into an ice rink. First, Bones went wee and died. Then Moose was bouncing around the corner so Sacred could swing. That was nice. But then one of them smoking while the other's swinging. The spike isn't even close to blowing up. Just take a second to talk to each other. On Lander's eco, Envy just ran it down A.
Deja vu and bind, but whatever the storyline may be, they're looking clean.
Moose lost on Hound very quick. But wait, this flank is some
Chance here, but even then, the time's not in their favor.
One enemy remaining.
Alex 17 HP and Ion sneezes his direction. Bones, even through pinging Poppin.
Now, it's the defense's first full buy, but also the unveiling of why Envy chose Brimstone over every other controller. In their 4-1, they're splitting A, but in a way you'd never think about, while Lander are about to get their heads pounded in with their 2-2-1 setup. The barriers fall, Ion flings his stim, and Envy are off.
More difficult to kind of entry in and take fights.
Even through all the blinds, okay, Chaotic is good for one. Canezilla is just this whole army. You can blind Envy, you can trip them.
Why did Envy pick Brimstone? It's his pure speed. Nyum. But before I talk about the agents, we need to talk about Corrode. On this map, mid control is king. With it, the defense only have to worry about one choke, stack 2 on each site, and can quickly rotate. But if the offense control mid, they can do anything. Fake A into a B split, leave her lurker and just go B, split A, which has like an 80% success rate in this map for some reason. So how does this relate to Brimstone?
Fly home, buddy. I wear cologne.
Now, I don't know when this breakdown is coming out, or if it is already, but recently, I broke down Sen's Corrode comp and talked about how their Neon allows Zekin to sprint into timings in mid, forcing their enemies to adjust and account for them. Like, for example, if the defense smokes and mollies mid at the start of the round, Neon can just run past it as her teammates protect her with smokes and flashes. That's how they managed to dominate G2 on the attack side of this defense-sided map. And Envy are doing the same thing. By having Brimstone instantly stim beacon, Yoru and Fade can swing together and take anyone in mid by surprise, or just hug this left wall and not be spotted by the defense at all. They just blitz Chaotic in A short. Generating this timing is so important that Ion smoked after his teammates made it through. Normally when going mid on any map, smokes are the first thing to go down. And speaking of smokes, that's also what makes Brim so good. His sky smokes boom faster than any other agents in the game, meaning on either side, they give Envy mid quicker than any other controller would. It costs a lot more to re-clear map control than outright taking it immediately. Every second counts. So while the Brim pick seems troll, it's not. Especially when you don't have a Neon Ion player on your team, Brimstone is easy for any ranked specialist to pick up and play. And now with Inspire trapping Bones out of a main with his cage and then cam, this Wrecking Ball's getting 3 in mid, and Ion backstabbing Moose on his lurk, T-Dog is left without an owner.
Had a really solid corrode. You need a really well-rounded Landor, and Landor to Pete to try and win against Envy.
Consistently could just get impressed.
For the first 3 rounds of this half, both teams have heavily prioritized mid control. But now, that's changed. In Landers 203, they're charging headfirst down A main in hopes that Inspire's cam sees them and is like, "Avasti, mateys! These landlubbers are plundering A! We must rush B!" and head right into a Viper and Deadlock setup. But it's their lucky day because Envy are headed there anyway. How well can these Stingers fend off this B push? Round 16 begins with both teams placing smokes in mid, pretending that they're taking it, but Inspire's cam calls Landor's bluff. Envy continue to move up B behind a Prowler, which T-Dog tries to shoot while his teammates run into Inspire's trip. Nobody's in mid, the defense have pushed A, it's time to go B.
Inspire is going to try and hold down the triple flank, while Landor's anchors try to keep themselves afloat, and besides...
Now, eventually I'm going to show you why Phoenix isn't that bad of an entry on this map, but running through a choke knife out with your ult wasn't really what I had in mind. But because Canezilla saw this Gravnet fly past him, he had to keep moving. He followed Poppin's Haunt and Prowler into elbow, took down T-Dog, while Extra recognized the space Kane was taking, teleported out to the open to distract Moose, which allowed Poppin to get the trade. And execute like that? Yeah, you'll never see this from monkeys in ranked. Phoenix would run in, probably get caught in the Gravnet, everyone would try and follow suit after untangling themselves and sprint into a Viper Deadlock Crossfire and die. But Envy aren't ranked monkeys. They were the kings of the comp jungle. Inspire even understood his role this round and was ready to punish Landor and Spawn for pushing through A so aggressively. Instead, they've detoured through mid, haven't spotted, and Inspire hears them running.
Exter. Landor is just gonna have to watch this round sail by.
Oh god, no one saw that. Rewind the footage. Inspire lagged out in mid, and that rifle is a win condition for the defense. Raze runs over to pick it up, while Envy realize that they have to take fights on the crappy guns before they have to duel a Phantom.
As the COD kids would say, into Landor, and it's not gonna work out for him. And that gives Landor some much needed rifles to either save or attempt to turn this round in their favor.
Attempt they shall.
I did not expect Landor to actually try and push this.
Neither. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe Landor should have waited for the Phantom, you know, their win condition, before going. Oh well. With Raze's Showstopper online, Landor are forming a trap, and they're soon to be 3-1-1, while Envy are 1 point off probably the best ult in professional Valorant, Extra's Dimensional Drift. In their 1-1-3, they're grabbing the A orb since they haven't touched main much, and are probably headed back to B with this gate crash. The barriers fall, and the offense take mid with an instant smoke and spy cam, take A main with a Prowler, and second, smoke. Remember, Ion, you're playing Brim, not Clove. You only have 3 of those around. Weird. But now that the A orb has been taken, Extra rejoins his children on B, while Inspire dodges Bones' Haunt and swings out of the mid smoke, protected by Ions. In the meantime, Envy has grouped up outside of B and are headed right for Landor's trap.
Really, I mean, not that you do that as much on defense, but Silence and Chaotic. All right, try to get proactive with the Showstopper. As soon as you hear the Dimensional Drift, Envy's in your head, they're in your nightmares, and Chaotic can't get the one he was looking for.
Off Viper's jump spotting, Sacred is going to send out his Paranoia so Chaotic could blow up whatever was in this lane. But in his Dimensional Drift, Extra body blocked him. And because he got behind the defense, this sent Landor into a frenzy. Do they fight Yoru, swing deeper, or just leave? Chaotic chose to fight, Sacred couldn't make up his mind, and Viper was digging in her ass on sight. I mean, at least drop your wall if your Raze is going to swing. But wait, remember how I was weirded out when Ion used 2 smokes to default? Well, with Inspire's lurk in mid, I think Envy's plan was to slam B, smoke Heaven, and have Inspire backstab anyone trying to contest the offense's execute from B Link. Instead, he found Bones, and they exchanged a cage for a good suck, so maybe Moose fell back to help him? Regardless, it's now a 4 versus 1 on site, and after baiting half his team, Moose better go loose.
5 versus 3, strong head start as Moose hopes to convert a play.
Well, nice try, but if you look closer, this execute was more fleshed out than you think. Because Exter came out of his ult from this Cubby and B main, he was able to send out a decoy and gate crash towards B Link to help Inspire. Was he ever actually going to take it? Probably not. Imagine your fade and you hear this. you're probably just going to retreat. And now, it was Poppin's second Prowler that triggered this execute, and while Moose tried using this box to isolate ones, he could only get one. But I think Inspire heard Bones run away too. He's calling out that the other two defenders are on their way, well, one for sure, and that A should be free. You won't get comms like that from your ranked ciphers. They'd just die. Envy are sprinting through B main, into mid, up A short, and while the defense have made it onto B, they were ready to fight. But once they realized that Envy left to go get cigarettes, the defense decided to save. It's another full buy, and Canezilla is on fire. Literally. And we're finally going to see why Phoenix was built for Envy, and also Corrode. In their 1-1-3, the offense wants to pressure A hard with previous conditioning, but once again, go B. And now Lander are spread in a dog shit setup. We've been seeing this already in professional play, but most teams are going to start with 3 or 4 in mid because it is so important. That means that your anchors should be on the wings, making it impossible to just straight on hit either site. So having both Deadlock and Viper here, then your Fade soloing A when you have a Raze, who can combo well with their C's? That doesn't make much sense to me. The round starts fast with a Stim Beacon, Prowler, and Decoy for main. Poppin hears it, blasts it, but Extra flashes. Fade falls back, and Iron smokes left, but once Extra sees Raze's paint shells, he's out of there, and Poppin's Haunt starts scanning. But the defense's C's was too late, and maybe these two should have started together. Regardless, Envy's plan was to create so much pressure on A that the defense would lean that way so the attackers can go B. But because nothing was following the decoy, Landor aren't biting. Instead, T-Dog's walled off B main so that his entire team can focus on mid. But remember when I said that it's a lot harder to re-clear parts of the map versus just taking them earlier from your opponent? Well, as the defense gather in mid, they all just start jump spotting. Lander don't really have mid control, and Omen got off the line at one point. Inspire could have a timing somewhere. But when once this wall starts breaking, so does the defense's hold. Cubbies with natural cover just in time.
It's fine. And now that they've gotten some pressure towards B, they immediately flood back into it. There it is. Annihilation lands.
Went fishing. Nothing there, and orbital strike.
The offense are locked out. See, the problem with Envy's comp is that they don't have a traditional space maker like a Jet, Raze, or Neon. Instead, they have Yoru. So getting through a choke point is naturally going to be harder. When entering with this Blue Devil, you want to send your gate crash into cubbies with natural cover. You can find these on almost every map, and some may need more utility than others to make sure you're not just throwing your life away. But on B, it's this cubby. The only way that Envy make it through this choke is if Yoru makes it in alive and survives long enough for his team to untangle themselves from the grav net, which makes Phoenix's Blaze good for this site. By sending it straight out or at a curve, the defense won't have any idea if someone's come out. Had Extra done that here, sure, he would have gotten stunned, but at least this wall would have provided him cover long enough for his teammates to flood in with him. Yoru gets out, everyone gets unstuck, then Brim ults everyone out into the open. I mean, Poppin's Prowler cleared it out for him. Now, I don't know where his flash went for obvious reasons, so maybe that could have been better, but this pocket makes getting on a B as Phoenix a ton easier.
Teets, oh, you mean to tell me that this one pocket automatically makes Phoenix meta? You're a clown!
God, I can't stand you. On defense, there's just a million corners that he can flash around in mid. His Blaze can re-smoke it if need be. There's both a defense and offense sided orb, so he can farm on both halves, and he can insta-molly mid to secure it early. Phoenix is good on this map, especially for Envy. He is the ultimate ranked agent. He can smoke, flash, heal, and get info all by himself. That's why he's good in ranked, which is also what the entire Envy roster spams every day of the week. Now, does that make sense? Okay, now where was I? Okay, now without a lot of map control, Envy are going again?
From Ion, just kind of gets everyone to scatter, and everyone kind of running into each other there in the corner.
Now, it might look pretty troll to try and re-hit 3 seconds after your first hit failed. I mean, I just retyped this entire paragraph because at first I was roasting Envy. But keep in mind, Brim only has 3 smokes. It was now or never. And I'm just gonna save everyone time. It ended up being never. Both teams have new game plans. Envy are starting in another 2-1-2 wing default, but plan on ending A this time, while Deadlock has a Judge. Yeah, I hate Lander setup. A and mid are just so weak. The round begins with a Haunt from Bones, Prowler from Poppin, and the attackers come out on top with B main control. In mid, both teams have traded smokes. Ion's a bit deeper this time, as Lander haven't been too aggressive in mid, so why not try and take more of the map? But this time, Sacred's pushed through and has broken Inspire's cam. He flings a cage for a bit of added pressure, as he can walk out of either side, so Chaotic sends sends out his boombot to investigate. But there's a gap in Sacred smoke. Inspire can't land the shot and uses his last cage to get out. Now in the meantime, Extra sees T-Dog throw his wall, but just teleports away? Well, why not break it? Maybe his gate crash was about to expire? So that means he's prioritizing rotating instead. Cool. But because the defense have a wall up on B and mid control, they have a 3-stack on A.
Side to now hit the opposite site. You got the run it back. You got a Nightfall if needed. And now teleporting at the back, Canezilla will be respawning in, and Hexters. There's just so many clones, so many Envy members to kill, and Landor do a good job.
The thing that everyone gets wrong about Phoenix's ult is that it isn't always about getting kills. What's more important is the space you make with this extra life. Look, as soon as Canezilla popped his runner back, he recognized 2 things. 1, the defense is about to dump a boatload of utility on the choke, and 2, Extra sent his gate crash up elbow, so Kane had to go clear him a path. By running with his knife out all the way through sight like a monkey, he gave Extra the green light to take his gate crash and get the first blood. Like, who makes this type of play? Then Sacred tried hugging his Viper Smoke to get one, got traded, but Canezilla had a bad case of Happy Feet and couldn't stop dancing. Pylon inspires lure kill, and Envy are up 1. But Poppin recognizes that if his team wins this one, Landor have to save, so he rips his Nightfall right at Bones' face.
Bones, and now he's just got solo Nightfall, and Bones still wins that. So it's gonna be talking a lot of smack to Poppin later, bit of hopping around.
Bones has boned Envy and has the spike, but the problem is that Inspire could be anywhere after his kill in mid. So Moose posts up on elbow and Bones on yard, but as soon as Moose takes contact, he spreads out his pit and mollies the choke. But he's missed the spike. Now what?
To ensure the victory here, that's how desperate Landor is for this.
They didn't cover the spike, so...
Oh my gosh.
Right.
What was that? I know you feel nice and safe inside your ult and tucked away in this corner, but you're fucking Bones over. You can have the ult up, but just get close to your teammate so you can trade him. Envy need one more round to put Landor to bed, and they're going back to their tried and true Stim Beacon Rush A short strat, while Landor have finally separated their anchors. All it took was Envy getting to match point. The round starts and we see a similar A split to what we've seen before. Inspire pushes Bones back with a cage and cam. These 4 insist-stim and run it up short, smoke, prowler, gate crash, and aren't stopping.
Against the other undefeated team here in BCL, playoffs on the horizon. Landor standing in front of Envy and using the wall to their advantage. Moose 1 for 1. The trades from Envy are too good. Canezilla in the equation, hoping to subtract Landor, but also pick up the spike. Canezilla clutches under pressure.
Landor's setup is just horrible. Fade and Viper are clearly on 2 different pages. One's elbow, another one's sight, and if Moose just took the extra half second to extend his wall from further back, he could have the time to use a snakebite and stall for his teammates. Maybe he was taken off guard by how quick this A-split happened? Regardless, he got his, I guess, and Sacred did great to use his ult to help Bones early, using his paranoia to go up a player. Bones then thought he stopped the rush by launching a seize at Canezilla, but this young duelist knows that he couldn't stop and ran right at Sacred, tether still attached to his ass. Then he got Bones. This kid is unstoppable, but as he starts to plant, Chaotic swings out from the backside of Ion Smoke to isolate Inspire. The count is even. Both teams trade paint shells for a blaze, but with this wall up, Envy could be anywhere, but so could Deadlock. No one's seen her. Neither squad has info, so they both have to fight their way out.
Rounds the corner, 2v2 for the win for Envy. Spike down. Where's the help from T-Dog? Delayed swing, but ultimately it's Canezilla on top.
And now this comp made sense, but what about their Harbor Haven one? Watch this Envy video and you tell me.